Hey guys, how you guys doing? Good morning. So I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna tag both Christians and atheists in this video, and I'm gonna issue a challenge. For the atheists, it will be to further justify what I'm gonna say in this video, and for the Christians, it's gonna be to prove me wrong or substantiate a counter to what I'm gonna say in this video. To begin this challenge, we need to start off with a claim. My claim is, I confidently don't think there were any witnesses to Jesus' resurrection, and I don't even think that Jesus' resurrection even happened. I decided to do this challenge because I was going through videos of mine that I had made, and I was also uploading these videos onto my second channel, and I stumbled onto this creator and a video that she had made, which had a lot of good information and talked about how many witnesses to the resurrection there were. As a Roman Catholic growing up, I heard that there were 500 and there were thousands, but I've been an atheist for I think 6 years, and I've heard the counter arguments to that and saying that there weren't 500, there weren't thousands of witnesses to the resurrection. So I'm going to basically just be taking what she said in this video and furthering the message, and I'm trying to put my spin on it and look at what she says, but I think I agree with everything that she's saying. So the first thing in the video that the creator is saying, or the first thing that Christy says, is basically when it comes to Paul is the one that's claiming that there were 500 witnesses to Jesus' resurrection, but he's claiming that there were 500. He's not claiming that there were thousands. He makes this claim in 1 Corinthians chapter 15 verse 6. You guys can go read that and read the surrounding text or context behind that. But if you know who Paul was, and if you see me looking off screen, I'm looking at some notes that I took on the video. Paul wasn't at the resurrection site. He didn't see Jesus rise from the dead. He never met Jesus while Jesus was alive. He didn't know Jesus when Jesus unalived, and was not there to witness Jesus rise from the dead. So how could he possibly write about this? Paul wrote 1 Corinthians and wasn't really even an eyewitness, so it's kind of peculiar that he wrote all this, and like, where was he getting his information from? Actually, a lot of atheists that I've talked to on TikTok will say that Paul had a vision on the road to Damascus. It's in this vision that Paul has on the road to Damascus that he sees Jesus, but even then, like, he had this vision long after Jesus died. Paul was converted 4 or 5 years after the death of Jesus. And that's really the end of that. So I'm not even sure we can even rely on Paul's accounts that people saw Jesus after the resurrection, or even he saw Jesus after the resurrection. What other evidence do we have, or what other claims or written accounts do we have about Jesus resurrecting from the dead? I mean, we could look at the gospel accounts, but those were written, and this is omitted by atheists and Christians, those were written decades after the death of Jesus. So in the video made by Christy, there's text on the top of her video whenever she says this, but she says that Mark was written around 40 years after the death of Jesus, Matthew and Luke were written around 50 years after the death of Jesus, and John was written after 65 years after the death of Jesus. These 4 books were written decades after the death of Jesus, and honestly, with that and with everything that can happen within decades, and like word of mouth and information being spread around, take that what you will about the reliability of these books and their accounts of Jesus' resurrection. I don't think that's reliable, and I don't think, like, just based off of when they were written, like that time period, the huge gap between like when they were written, they don't seem like reliable accounts for the resurrection of Jesus to me. And if a Christian can explain to me why they still would be after all those years, feel free to. Also, those accounts that were written in those 4 books, we're not even sure if they were written by people who were eyewitnesses to Jesus' resurrection. Even Luke admits this. Christy brings up this verse from Luke, and in this verse, Luke is basically saying that he wasn't even an eyewitness to Jesus' resurrection. He basically is just getting written accounts from other people, and this is what he's writing on. Luke didn't even write Luke. He's basically just writing what other people told him. He wasn't an actual eyewitnesses. He's just taking people's words for it. He's choosing to trust people who claimed to be eyewitnesses to Jesus's resurrection. In my eyes, all of this is just hearsay. All of this is just word of mouth. None of this is reliable, and I would love to see more evidence of what could possibly, justify Jesus' resurrection. To me, this is just wish-wash, and it can't be substantiated. I'm just confused. It doesn't seem like reliable and 100% guaranteed factual evidence or accounts of Jesus' resurrection. I don't believe there are any witnesses to Jesus' resurrection, and I don't really even think that it happened. Any Christian who wants to prove me wrong, any atheist who wants to further justify what I said or critique me on anything that I said, feel free to. I'm putting this challenge out there. All this information is basically stuff that I learned from Christy's video and stuff that I'm hearing from atheists, and just really all this information is debunking stuff that I learned when I was a Roman Catholic. Nowhere in the Bible does it say that there were thousands of people that witnessed Jesus' resurrection, and even with the 500, that's not really reliable. I don't know, maybe this will be interesting, but I'm commencing the Jesus Resurrection Challenge. If you think that you've got a good shot at it, go ahead. And again, I'm open-minded to being wrong. I'm learning and growing every single day. Substantiate it. I think the Bible is the claim, and substantiate that Jesus rose from the dead. It doesn't seem likely.